Hi, Shivansh. I can't hear
Hello,
you.
Sakshi. I was not
Hi.
speaking anything. I was waiting for you to
Oh,
switch on the video.
I thought you were waving and saying, "Hey, it's me." What's up? How's it going?
It is going super awesome. I've just been doing extensive workouts nowadays, so that's been really
Me
fun.
too. I like your merch. It's cool.
Thank you. It's not the best. These were just the version ones. In fact,
Mm.
thanks for reminding me. I need to push the version two for the t-shirts today. We found a really cool vendor. So this guy has his own brand. I sent you this brand. I think Sorta Club.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. You did. Sort of club.
right.
Yeah.
Really high quality designs. I spoke to the founder and he was really nice. He was like, Shivansh, whatever you need, I'll get you patched up. I'm like, okay, nothing's better than that.
Amazing. Maybe
Yes.
you
Why
can
were you
send me
researching
one.
this?
It's my job.
I
No,
saw a message. I was like,
I'm talking about the next piece that that's actually going up tonight is a millennial's point of view on streetwear.
very interesting.
So basically, like, and I had to like do the research from the ground up because it's not in my purview. Like I know like the older brands like No Black No White, Human. These are brands that were already a thing when I was like, they've been a thing for like over a decade. So I know those, but I don't know all these new ones. I knew the Soul Store. I knew them. They just did like a Paris Fashion Week, which is not even fucking Paris Fashion Week. They just went during Paris Fashion Week and put up their own show. Um, so like whatever.
It
Point
was a
is
good
like
marketing gig. Yeah.
great. What my point of view actually? So I had an assumption, which I'm basically debunking myself, and my own assumption was that nowadays, Gen Z is very like culturally attuned, and they don't want like they're not borrowing the Western culture like we did growing up. Everything was the Western. We didn't really have pride in our own like there was no like gully rap and there was no subcultures and cool like
Right.
none of that. Everything was American, right? So I was under the impression that the Indian streetwear scene was like reflective of that.
Hmm.
It's not. A lot of people are still doing like Western
Yeah.
stuff, like for instance, Almost Gods.
Yes. Yes.
They have like the Mona Lisa, they have like mystical like angels from like paintings that are like Roman Empire and all. I'm like, bro, like we've got shit like that in India. Like, why you? But that's not what I'm saying. Obviously, I'm being more diplomatic. Um, and actually, I connected with the founder. I just messaged him last night. Because I was curious. I was like, why? Like, then I think his play is that he wants to I think his play, my assumption is that he wants to build a global brand. He doesn't want to build a brand for India.
Hmm.
I think he's trying to position because in all his interviews he's talking about like my clothes were on Kanye. He's not saying my clothes were on Diljit Dosanjh. Do you know what I mean? There's a difference. Like
Yeah.
he cares more about the Western validation, which is fine. But it's just yeah. So I was like fully like my research runs deep, and I saw your content piece the other day about like कि बीच में जो भी है it doesn't matter.
Right.
It has to start well and end well. And I'm like, I should probably take this advice because I spend so much time on like the meat. Um, and I get so into the meat. Like I'm like, when in my previous one where I was talking about how much money it takes to put a couture show up, I was researching. I had like downloaded I had paid for this private limited company's full balance sheets, P&L. I was scanning it, looking at it. I was doing it all. Like I wasn't like just taking what someone wrote and taking that as facts. Like I was going deep. So yeah, so that's just how I like I don't want like if I'm saying it, then I want to be able to stand by it, you know?
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah. It's been
Okay.
fun. I've been enjoying it.
That's nice. That's nice. That was the goal from day zero. That first you gotta
Yeah.
fall in love with content once again. I'm glad to
Yeah.
see that.
Love it.
So today's okay. So very interestingly, that's why the name for the call today is Founders Toast plus Next Steps. So I'll give you an understanding of what's going to happen. There's one agenda point that you, of course, want to discuss. What's the next step? Where do we go from here? And I have two different routes for you that we'll speak about. उससे पहले हम कर रहे हैं celebration of Sakshi's page. So the idea is Founders Toast is all about speaking to people, talking about their journey, and understanding that someone else who might be in one part of the world looking and thinking, should I do content? Should I just leave it? What's happening? For someone like you who's been doing it for so long, things didn't work, you perhaps left, you got so occupied in different things. तो हम 10-15 मिनट उन चीजों के बारे में बातें करेंगे because the other day I remember when there was a certain spree of things wherein you just started telling me so many insane things that happened to you. And recently Karan Johar, wow, KJ, let's fucking go.
Joe. And by the way, he's been lurking. Like I've seen he comment, like he's been liking my other posts. By the way, I'm getting some really great like industry attention and feedback. Like earlier when I used to look at the people, remember I told you last call, okay, sometimes I click on these profiles and I just want to throw up, like yuck,
Yeah,
right? And that's changing. Like now when I click on people's profile, they're founders, they are like they have AI tech, they are this, they are that. I'm like, dude, who are you guys and why are you following me? Like you, like this is awesome. Like I am loving it. So I'm attracting the right kind of crowd, you know,
let's go.
designers, creatives, like just now, like an interior designer, architect. He's DMing me, and he seems like pretty prominent because another architect that I follow, Vinita Chaitanya, and him are like really like buddy buddy. She's like the biggest in India. So
Okay.
so yeah, I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy.
And
I'm
I think
happy
you
with
also mentioned Anayata Shroff the other day, and I've heard her
yeah.
name at different places. So,
Anaita Shroff Adajania is basically she was the director of Vogue in India
okay.
back in the
Right.
day. She is the OG fashion stylist. I mean, Manish is, but then after that, she is.
Okay.
Um, she styled Cocktail, you know, the first Cocktail, the second Cocktail. Her husband made Cocktail, Romi Adajania, the movie Cocktail.
Okay.
So like she's very integrated in the scene. She's like
And
not
she's
just a
been what
stylist.
engaging with you, following you. What's happening?
She's been no, she was engaging with content. She did not
That's
follow me.
nice. But very cool. That's really fucking awesome. So okay, let's start from here, Sakshi. When I think it's been a couple of months since we started. What's up? Kitna samay ho gaya?
Yeah, about that, I would say.
Can you just quickly help me rewind that? Where were we before we started? क्या चल रहा था
Um,
कंटेंट को लेके और सारी
I
चीजें?
had started creating content, okay, but I was all over the place. I didn't had not identified a lane or I was just doing directionless. Like aaj ye man, aaj wo man. Obviously in the fashion space, but the
Right.
clarity and you know it's interesting because you actually told me, you know, you have to be that India proud, la 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 la. La, okay, and when you told me that, I was like, okay, like I mean, I am India proud, but I don't know. I just felt like I didn't see it. I didn't see it
Hmm.
as clearly as you saw it, right? So
Okay.
I'll give you credit where it's due. That like over time, that sort of content is what is resonating with me the most and doing the best. And now I don't feel weird. Like at that time, I was like, can I just only talk about that? But now that has become the irony is the friends of mine that are coming and telling me, of course, so many of my friends are like, you know, what the fuck? And like also like amazing, right? But they're all identifying that as the niche. They're like, oh, I love that you're making content that's like Indian culture slash fashion. Like it's not just fashion. And they're like, oh, and like your videos are so intelligent and you know, you're dissecting and you're this and I'm like, fuck, this is awesome. Like I love the feedback, you know? And anyway, so yeah, so I think the direction has become people are noticing it. It's not just something that I'm keeping in mind. It's
Right.
also that other people are getting that this is her voice. This is what she's representing, which is great, which means there's more clarity in the
Huh.
content. Of course, with the reach, I'm still editing everything myself because I'm anal like that.
Wow.
Like I want like I try to work with an editor, but I just want like things done my way. I want my
Yeah.
pictures, what I choose. Then last minute I'll decide, nah, this video is too long. I want to take out this part. I want to take out that part. So you know what I mean? Like and it takes a lot of my time And I do want to outsource that at some point.
Right.
But right now, I just still feel like I'm okay to do it myself. I mean, I shoot it myself, I edit it myself, I post it myself. So for that, I feel like I'm doing great. You know what I mean? Like I don't have any outside.
Single person team, let's go.
Yeah, and the team is like the feedback that they've given is clearly like the average has increased. The average number of views, which was like 3-4K when we talked right in the beginning, to
Right.
now, of course, there are still some videos that'll perform poorly, but then the average is now in the tens at least, right? Like there
Right.
is that. And then, of course, there'll be that one video that'll do like 50 or 90 or 100 or 300
I think once a
twice.
week we have at least a 100K view video kind of a thing, right? Our page is filled with such videos right now.
It's decent. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. And by the way, I was telling you the last time we spoke that day, which is एक हफ्ता हुआ है, and I told you कि ये follow count ही नहीं increase हो रहा है यार. और शिवांश उस दिन से मैंने जब भी मैसेज भेजा था यू टोल्ड मी कि सेंड मी अ मैसेज डोंट सेंड मी दिस
You're right.
लॉन्ग बिजनेस प्लान. ठीक है उस दिन मैंने देखा था 57.2 था. वो था फ्राइडे को. अभी है वेडनेसडे 57.9 हो गया है.
Wow.
हाँ एंड आई एम स्टिल लूजिंग फॉलोअर्स
The
बिकॉज
point was because it was a dead account, there was a very old account, तो बहुत सारे लोग
या.
जा रहे हैं, but still काफी सारे नए लोग आ गए हैं.
And now, like that graph is moving where the coming is more than the go, and the going is less. You know, which is
Right.
what. So amazing. That's also moving because that was a bit like I want that bloody. I wanna, dude. And now every day I'm like 100K bus. Just got one single minded. Yesterday I didn't post content after a week.
Mhm.
I wanted to actually, I was going to post it. But then I wanted to talk to this founder because I thought I was saying the wrong thing. And I go a
Hmm.
little deep. So I don't want to
Hmm.
like say
Obvious.
some shit and lose my credibility, you know? So I didn't post it yesterday because I could not understand it. And that's when I messaged you and I said, okay, tell me this, tell me that. And then last night, full research and now I've changed, I've just added like one little text byline saying that perhaps he is trying to approach a global audience, whatever. I have been able to kind of make it something that I am now comfortable to put out, and now that's ready to go out. That's my streetwear piece that'll go out today. And I think I'm in a good place where I'm detached from the result. कि हाँ ऑफ कोर्स अच्छा रिजल्ट देके मजा आता है लेकिन बुरा रिजल्ट देख के फिर बोलती हूँ कि हाँ अभी ना नेक्स्ट वीडियो में फाड़ना है लाइक आई हैव टू किल इट सो fuck
Let's
that
go.
and let's move forward. Like I don't dwell.
Perfect. So just to very quickly summarize, or let's put it in a way. पहली बात content कितने समय से बना रहे थे आप? I think you've been in the game for long.
No, so I was never making content ever. I was just taking cute pictures and putting them up. And before that, I
Perfect.
was just doing celebrity photos. And that's why people were following me, not for
Right.
me. They
Right.
were following me for the celebrity content that I'm putting up.
Right.
Right. So that was over a decade ago.
Right.
For a decade, and actually by at that time, I had like 75, 80K followers. Uske baad, over the last, yeah, uske baad, at that time, I'm talking about 10 years ago.
You were really big in India, right?
I was huge in India for a moment, right? Then I left, right? And then I wanted to peace out. Like I was not really in that, like I want to stay relevant and I was happy to
Right.
disconnect. So for that decade, I was just put my head down and I worked. And actually the audience that I had, I was only sharing like work stuff, like Project Bundy and all. The audience
Right.
that I had, they didn't care about that. They only cared about Sonakshi Sinha. They're all sitting in UP and Bihar and all, dude. Like, why do they care? They can't even afford it. Like, so it's not, yeah. So then that was a massive mismatch. And actually, that's why a lot of people started leaving. So I must have lost about 20K followers in the last decade, which is fine,
Right.
you know. And then I started creating content. I'd say, like, I posted like a video actually last year, but for Project Bundy, where
Nice.
my Project Bundy team told me, founder led, you have to talk, you have to come in front of camera, you have to say this, that, and the other. So a little bit I did there, which I was not very comfortable with because I was talking about stuff that was very vulnerable and very like little bit like victim types. And I'm not like that. Like,
You're
I'm
not
not
that
feeling
person.
it.
You're, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not feeling that, mujhe sympathy do. And then everywhere I would meet anyone, it was like, are you okay? I'm like, listen, I'm totally fine. Like, yuck. Don't ask me that question. Okay. So then I realized that that's not my scene. Like, I can't be like sappy and sad and say, oh hi, मेरा business बुरा चल रहा है क्योंकि ये बुरा हो गया वो बुरा हो गया अभी बहुत बुरा हुआ but this is life, this is business, right? So anyway, that, and then I decided after a lot of mulling that I want to pivot into creating content because I feel like that's something I can do from Singapore.
Right.
And the business in India means Singapore. This geographical divide is mind fucking. I have two kids. I have two nannies. Every time I cannot take one troop to India for me to just conduct business. It's too difficult, right? I can't do it.
Right.
सो आई डिसाइडेड कि वो अभी उसको थोड़ा पॉज करो जब जितना चल रहा है उसको चलाने दो लाइक जस्ट व्हाटएवर ऑर्डर्स आर कमिंग वी एग्जीक्यूटिंग आई एम नॉट लाइक वेरी इनटू इट
Right.
बट focus on something else. And actually, ironically, that's when you sent me that message. Then
क्या
I spoke
बात
to
है.
Ridhima, and then
Couple of things very quickly. पहली बार when I texted you, ठीक है. I'm sure you would not share your number with everyone on Instagram. So what
no,
was the thought? What was the thought that clicked की number share कर देते हैं? Do you remember specifically, or what was the thought that
yeah,
got you in?
your last line, you had said something very chill. I'll tell you. I was like, chill, ठीक है. Like it made it sound very कि हाँ ये तो कर सकती हूँ. Like I can like I'll tell you. I'm going to your
Something like
DM.
would it make sense for to have a conversation, something like that.
No, no. Would it be worth a conversation?
Would it be worth a conversation?
If we could apply the same system to your content, would it be worth a conversation?
Right.
I said, and I replied, worth a conversation. ठीक है, एक बात करने में से क्या जा रहा है?
Perfect. फिर रिधिमा से
You
बात
know,
हुई.
and so then it was very like light, like there was no hard sell, right?
Right.
So I liked that. And then I actually didn't even click on the profiles you sent me to say oh no, I did click. Um, then Ridhima was amazing. Honestly,
Right.
Ridhima was amazing. She comes across sincere, honest, genuine.
Right.
Honestly, these are the more that like I didn't really care about anything she was saying because it didn't matter what she was saying. It mattered that I trusted her. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like that
Right.
she was able to establish a very and I was just impressed by her actually. I was very impressed by her.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Uh, so Ridhima is definitely the reason I'm here. Like after that conversation, I was like, at the end of the conversation, I was like, okay, next steps, let's go.
Perfect. And then we spoke, and you choose to move
And I
forward.
think also the timing, because I was already kind of thinking of this, and then I was like directionless, and then I spoke to Ridhima, and then I realized, okay, you know what? Like, if I really want to give this a shot, which is for me, it's a pivot. For me, I'm not the same as your other founders who are not pivoting necessarily. Like your doctor and this and that, they are still being doctors every day.
Right.
For me, it is a pivot, and it came at the time where I was pivoting. So I think, like, for me, I felt like, okay, I mean, if I have to invest in this pivot and get someone to help me, and I don't have a single friend that does content, I mean, I do, but not this type of content. Like, I have, like, Sanjana Batra, Tanya Ghavri, they're all my very close friends, but not in a way where, like, give me advice.
Right.
I can't
They get a
bug you
brand
every
advantage.
day. Like,
Yeah.
iska hook sahi hai ki nahi? They don't create that kind of content. So
Right.
I thought that it would be good to have like a backbone or a structure where I can kind of check and see what I'm doing is in the right direction. How can I improve? And of course, Sankeet is amazing. Arushi is amazing. They're all great. Like their feedback is great. Clearly, because when I do
अरे
implement it,
मेरी तारीफ कहाँ है? मेरे साथ कॉल पे आए, वो उसकी भी तो बात करनी, वो तो स्किप कर गया.
तुम्हार
मृदिमा से बात कर
तुम्हारी
आगे.
तुमने तुमने टीम को चूज किया है तो तुमने अच्छा ही काम किया होगा. No, of course I went to your profile. I saw like all your like
Right.
content. I
So,
stalked you a little bit.
anything specifically in the call because of which you were like, कि, okay, let's get in with the investment, or it was just very clear after speaking to Ridhima कि ठीक है, it makes sense, करना तो है ही.
It was Ridhima, to be honest with you. I had already decided
Perfect.
before
Awesome.
talking to you.
ठीक है, जर्नी शुरू हुई, बहुत सारा स्केप्टिसिज्म होता है जो जर्नी शुरू होती है, ओके व्हाट इज गोना बी, हाउ इट्स गोना बी लाइक, खासकर पहले 10-15 दिन कुछ कुछ चीजें चलती हैं. आई रिमेंबर दिस पर्टिकुलर कन्वर्सेशन वेर इन you were telling me कि I'm going to Bangalore, I'm going to this that and this other project of yours. I was like, Sakshi, ये क्यों कर रहे हैं हम? Like the entire thing was with that
Yes. And
creative
oh,
energy.
that was, by the way, amazing. That was very sharp. I'll give you a compliment. Because I was thinking just of ways to create content and what would be interesting for someone else to watch.
Right.
But what you said is, but you want to step away from this. You don't want to be an operator. So then why? And that was actually like, oh yeah, like I do want to step away from it. I don't want to operate a business every day and do business का खिटपिट every day कि ये embroidery गलत हो गई है, ये हो गया, वो हो गया, ये customer रो रहा है or whatever. Delivery. I don't want to deal with that shit. So
Right.
actually that was a very yeah, and actually that, and then after that I just currently I still am like maybe I want to do something with Nava, but I'll wait for clarity. I'll
Right.
wait to understand what it is that I want to do with it because even that needs a rebrand. Like it needs something, you know.
Makes sense. Of
But
course.
eventually, see, honestly, Shivansh, selling a product is too much work. I've been doing it for so long.
Right.
You
I
know,
get it. And
और
what I'm going to
सस्ता
show you
प्रोडक्ट मैं
today,
बना नहीं सकती हूँ. मुझे आता नहीं है
बनाना
सस्ता
ही नहीं
प्रोडक्ट
है यार.
बनाना.
You're
हाँ.
not, brand is about cheap product. Like
हाँ.
your personality, just like you're not someone just for sympathy. You're one of the most fierce women I've ever come across. So remember that
Oh.
was the brand. Like the first conversation, like Shivansh, I'm ready to be unleashed. Even the second conversation about when we were talking about the Nava project, you were like, okay, Shivansh, I get it. I'm ready to be unleashed. Let's fucking go. It's been a
Mm,
while. I haven't stepped out and showcased the world. Who am I?
mm,
That's the energy that suits in you. Period.
yeah.
Take care.
And I feel it. And I feel inspired now. I was like dead for the last few years, feeling very like overwhelmed and like, you know, now I feel like let's go. Like I'm ready.
Right. Couple of more questions. How does it feel internally in the sense where you were, let's say, a quarter before, to the energy you were in, to all these biggest of the biggest folks from KJs to Anaita to I don't know even know the half of the names. Them looking at your profile and not those people जो पहले आ रहे थे, वो account जो
Feels
नीचे जा रहा था
amazing.
finally ऊपर आ रहा है.
Feels amazing. You know, honestly, see, I'll tell you what, Shivansh, also, like, you know, because I have been running my business remotely, you
Hmm.
know, in Singapore, uh, I'm alone, right? And because I do no offline events, because I'm here, because it's hard. So I don't have that contact and that validation. And listen, at the end of the day, how much ever you say कि मुझे validation नहीं चाहिए, मुझे validation नहीं चाहिए,
Yeah.
किसको नहीं अच्छा लगता सुनना कि oh wow, amazing, great job, you know? So, and then, you know, you start questioning and doubting yourself, right?
Right.
Am I actually good at it? Do I actually know anything? And that is very much the place I was in. And now being so engrossed and Shivash, you know, I can't even tell you the kind of things that have been like coming into my head, like going full circle. Let me tell you now quickly. I studied fashion journalism. Okay.
Okay.
My dream was to do this. Except, except back in the day it was writing.
Right.
Now it's video and it's content and it's online. Right?
Right.
So it was never too so that was one of my dreams that I studied fashion journalism in London. I came here and I became a stylist because there were no journalism jobs. Like publishing was tanking. They were giving me like 35, 30,000. I was like, money, apna paisa, apne paas rakho. So I did not join any magazine because I'm like, bro, I just studied at LCF and you can't pay me 30K. I'm moving to Bombay. I can't even pay my rent. Like, how am I going to live?
Right.
Right. So that it just, and then I started just going with the flow. I was not intentional, right? So this journalism background where like I have a narrative, something to say, right? That got lost. And then second, like my mom would always say to me things like, you know, you'll become Oprah Winfrey when you grow up. Matlab, a talk show host, you know?
Right. Right.
So that was also very much like I'm, like I can do that. Like I could do it. Like, you know, that small thing that your mom tells you when you're like 5 years old and
Right.
in your
Right.
head you
Right.
believe it, right? So that's two. And then number three is that like just researching and okay, literacy, fashion literacy. That is another thing I was very passionate about. When I was in university, I used to think कि हमारे पास अभी now things have changed. There are textbooks and all, but at that time we never had like a book about fashion history. No one told. We were just doing darzi. We were just stitching. ठीक है, we didn't know anything कि उसकी बैकबोन क्या है, ये प्लीट का हिस्ट्री क्या है, कभी बनी थी, क्यों बनी थी, इसकी मतलब पूरा कल्चरल रेलेवेंस बिल्कुल जीरो था. ओके, एंड आई
Life
वाज इन
has
वन ऑफ
gone
द
full circle.
गुड फैशन. यस. And so now I'm sitting here without realizing that it's all connecting in a way. I mean, I'm really not Oprah Winfrey, of course, but I'm just
We're
saying,
moving
like,
in a direction. Yeah.
but it's all connecting, like the conversation, the talking, which is why, like I say, Oprah Winfrey, or like uh, the cultural narrative, or like the journalism. So ironically, life has somehow like put me where I always wanted to be, just accidentally. So I really do
Let's
think
fucking
that this
go.
is where I need to be, like in life. And I actually think I can fucking kill it. I really do. I believe it.
110%. I
I
believe the
believe it.
same.
Now I believe it. Like last time when I was saying it, I was like, can I? Now I'm like, of course I fucking can.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's
That's
do
the
it.
thing. I think the other day I was speaking to someone, Shreya. Shreya mentioned, so she was very happy. She hit 10K. Okay. And it's been a year since been working with us. तो मैंने कहा 10,000 पे इतनी खुशी क्यों है बहन पहले तो ये बताओ. वो कह रही यार मैंने ना 3 साल पहले डायरी में लिखा था तब मेरे को कुछ नहीं पता था जब मैंने आपके साथ शुरू किया तो भी मुझे कुछ नहीं पता था पहली बार किसी ने आगे मेरे कंटेंट की तारीफ करी और मैं बस वैसे ही सोच रही थी कि शिट ब्रो दिस ये लोग कह रहे हैं तो कुछ तो अच्छा होगा. And I chose to figure out because I gave her an option here. You can choose to figure out or you can choose to grow. And she was like, I want to figure out myself because that's what's very important. And she was like, I just feel मैंने लिखा था और वो possibility बन गई तो लाइफ में सब कुछ possible है. So the same thing, I remember the conversations between us, Sakshi, कि कर पाएंगे, करना है वैसा है. And I told you that it's fucking possible. We're gonna do that. And I'm glad that
And
you are there today.
compliments. Great energy. Yours. Very infectious. Sometimes you just need someone else to believe in you.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And that's your
100%.
contribution, you know?
That's it. That's what I want to do. I'm so
Yeah,
fucking
just like
happy.
someone else to say, of course you can fucking do it. Like, nothing stopping you except yourself. You told me that day. Ha, now I remember the Gyan. I was telling my mother, my mom was a very spiritual person. So I was telling her, mom, this kid is sitting in front of me and
This
telling
kid.
me, and I was like, and he's telling me about mindset. And can I tell you, I love that shit. Okay. Because I want to have an amazing mindset. But sometimes life happens and you start doubting and I'm like, he's looking at me and he's telling me all this like really spiritual, beautiful stuff. And I'm like, I connected with, and I was like, that's what I needed to hear. I told her that. And my mom was like, oh my God, wow. My mom's also very spiritual. So she was like, oh my God, wow. Like, beta, that is so good. Bhagwan, पता है, हर तरीके से आता है, कैसे भी कोई भी बन के आ जाता है आपके सामने भगवान. So she's telling me that. She's like, so basically comparing you to almost God, saying, okay, you've come, to
Wow.
usher me to my to my destination or to my destiny. It was very cute. So yeah,
I'm
I mean,
so
no, I'm
happy.
very happy. Of course, you can see that I'm high on life and I'm loving it. And now,
Of course, of course. Last सवाल बचा मेरा दो सवाल थे. You take longer answers तो मेरे को सवाल खत्म करने दो. Last question. You mentioned that of course you always need someone to believe in you, and I'm glad they was there. Who else has been the most excited person to see what's happening, to not caring what's gonna happen tomorrow, but just freaking happy to see you in the zone because I'm sure you would have gotten those compliments about did you.
just my mom. I mean, I don't open up like this to that many people. Even my closest friends don't know when I'm struggling.
Okay,
I'm not. I don't want to be that victim mentality. I'm not
right.
like that.
I
Okay.
get that. Yeah.
So they don't know that. They don't know that I'm going through this and that, and like mentally I feel confused, and they don't know that. So my mom definitely, because she can feel like she's the one that I call and I'm like, oh, life sucks. So she can see the like the shift in energy, and every day she'll just say, I'm just so happy that you're enjoying yourself. Because she
Wow.
always says, "Ke, you'll blink one day and you'll be my age, and life would have passed you by, you know. So enjoying the everyday is very important, and it's not just about the destination. So
Right.
so I am happy that I'm enjoying it. Like I am happy that
Perfect.
I feel charged up to do what I have to do every day. So I think that's cool.
That is freaking awesome. And I hope your
Yeah.
husband is also super happy to see you grow.
He is barely on Instagram. Of course, he's happy.
Ah,
Okay, but he's not part of this world. In
makes
fact,
sense.
he is my biggest mirror.
Yeah. Someone to
He
hold
will
it on, someone to,
question.
yeah.
He will question, and but I'm not the type. Like I'm the type. If I know, if I feel it in my bones, तो मुझे question करते रहो. मुझे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. So he
Perfect.
asked me like, "Are you sure this is a proven?" Um, like he thought I'm doing something radical, like something new and different. I was like, dude, people are making insane money online. You chill, you relax, okay? Because उसको नहीं समझ आता ये सब.
Different
वो
dunia. Makes
हाँ
sense.
डिफरेंट दुनिया है, बहुत ही ज्यादा डिफरेंट है. उसको तो उसका एक्सटेंट मालूम ही नहीं है कि कहाँ जा सकते हैं. तो मैंने बोला तू चिल कर यार, तू अपना दिमाग मत लगा इसमें.
Perfect. Okay, अब आते हैं पैसे पे. Perfect. ठीक है, तो साक्षी नेक्स्ट फेज शुरू करते हैं. I told you the other day, the most important thing for me to work with anyone is that they need to be in the right energies. I also talk about this in the decision making, that at the end of the day, I can only, if you remember, there's this question, why you? And I speak about that, why you? That question is always there because unless you believe that you can be an outlier, no one else can fucking do anything. And I realized that when we started talking, that you've been holding on to that energy. There've been so many things going on with anything and everything that's happened over the last 10 years, that we need to be in the right energy and we need to see for ourselves who we are. And the last time when you spoke to me, and that's why if you remember the first 15 years, I was like, "Aate hain, Sakshi, isme aate hain. First tell me what has been the good, where are you?" And then you started telling me so many things that have been happening and that have been so amazing, right? I'm glad we're in this space now. Now we have two options from here. These two options are very clear. Either we can, बहुत binary option इस sense में है कि either we can focus on money today or we can continue what we're doing for one more quarter. I'll tell you the difference. I get it. You're in a zone, you're in an energy wherein you want to kill it out there. And money is a great, how do you put that, a validator to the fact that whatever you're contributing to the society. And I get it. You want to get to that thing ASAP because you've always been that person who's been self sufficient in that sense. So that's one route. The other route is we play a long game. We say that, okay, we've spent so much time, we're finally doing what we were supposed to do. And rather than us trying to be again in the driver's seat, if somehow universe is playing in beautiful sense and taking us to beautiful things by its own, what I was supposed to do, how about I just flow? लाइक रिमेंबर एक हफ्ते पहले आपने मुझे बोला कि यार ऐसे लोग आ रहे हैं, इनका मैं शिवांश लोगों को ब्लॉक कर दूं क्या. इन इस हफ्ते आप मेरे को बैठ के कह रहे हो कि ये टेक फाउंडर्स, ये ऐसा वो केजे, ऑल दोस थिंग्स हैपनिंग ऑन योर पेज. ये दो ऑप्शंस है हमारे पास एंड आई एम श्योर यू ऑलरेडी नो व्हाट, वेयर वुड आई हैव अ बायस, सो आई डोंट वांट टू से दैट. I want to first ask from you.
Okay, I think two things can happen. I think that the value add or the big monetization play, it's not time for that yet. Okay. I think I have to build more credibility for that. And I'm on the right track, clearly. Everything is working, little pieces together, right? So I want to do that. But exactly what you said about the validation and the financial validation, not just ke taliyan maro, like karo. That's free. That's free shit. Okay. I'm very aware ke, okay, I know attention economy and all that, but people forget. They give you attention 1 minute and then they forget about you the next minute, right? So I think I want a short term goal, which can be my little bridge. And then I want the long term play, which is the which is what's going to be something that maybe I need a little bit to build more credibility, which is going to be a bit more, which takes longer and maybe is more lucrative as well.
Makes sense.
Is what do
Let
you
me add
think
some
about
thought.
that?
See the bridge that you're talking about. See, I get the emotion about the financial validation and everything. Okay, and I get that people look at you, forget, but they also then when they meet you sometime or when they re-look at you, it builds a recall. That's what we're trying to build. Now we can create a bridge that's easy. I already have a couple of things. First of all, we're not doing a cohort and whatnot. I'll speak about it,
Okay.
why and whatnot. And still, in case you want to do it's your brand, but I have some thoughts. But the problem with bridge is it takes a lot of energy and it, वो कहते हैं ना, if you've heard that customers hijack the product roadmap, Because as soon as you'll start taking money and you'll start making in the content and your personality would start pivoting towards the fact कि अच्छा ये पैसा आना है और वो ना कोर गोल बन जाता है दिमाग में चाहते ना चाहते हुए एंड वहां पे फिर हम वो खुल के नहीं खेल पाएंगे बिकॉज देन द आइडिया वुड बी ओके पिछले महीने आया तो इस महीने इससे ऊपर करना है बिकॉज यू आर दैट पर्सन एंड यू विल बी कंज्यूम्ड बाय दैट. And what the problem with that is, right now we're in a space wherein a brand is taking shape, which is very difficult to comprehend. I'll draw a parallel example to this. I was speaking to, what's shit, how can I forget the name? Shrishti. Shrishti is a watch influencer. Okay. But I'll tell you basically. So they identified a white space in the women watch category, and they figured that okay, let's capture this white space. In a similar conversation, I had a hard conversation that यार अभी जो brand बना रहे हो, जो भी करो, सब कुछ है. You cannot educate a category. It's a big fucking problem. You'll have to spend 10 years, invest millions and billions of dollars, and someone else might hijack it. Rather, let's become a watch curator. Let's become that single source of truth because India does not have watch influencers, and globally there are no female watch influencers. And a big the biggest Indian influencer marketing agency founder told her कि इस category में पैसा नहीं है, fuck it, तुम मत करो, waste है. And I told her तुम करो, हम कुछ बनाएंगे. Last week, India's globally one of the biggest watch sellers, Ethos, I think. They reached out to her, spoke to her and told her कि हमारे पास watch influencers नहीं है, इसलिए हम lifestyle वालों को पैसा देते हैं. तुम ये जो बना रहे हो ये चीजें करो हम तुम्हें ऑनबोर्ड करने के लिए अभी से रेडी हैं. शी इज नॉट इवन गॉट 10,000 फॉलोअर्स. इट्स barely started. What I'm just saying, Sakshi, what we're trying to create, the vision I told you कि हम डे जीरो पे की इंडियन वाली जो चीज है, जो इंडियन फैशन एंड एवरीथिंग वी बिल्डिंग, दिस इज न्यू, दिस इज यूनिक,
Is it new?
बट दिस वुड नॉट
A lot of people are
द
talking about it. It's all over my Instagram, by the way, because I'm in the algorithm.
you're in that algorithm, but the way you speak, the credibility that you possess, the accent, the single, everything, the entire package altogether, it's unique. And that package is the reason all these A-listers are looking at your content and it's reaching to them. You have an option. This is not sell. I don't know what to sell to Cage or a night or what not. It is brand go guess sell kare. I know the easier things. I can help you create those packages, 5, 10,000 per call, style
What do
them,
you
whatnot.
think? What do you think? Okay, let's say, forget the bridge, because obviously you don't want to do that. Okay, forget it. In an ideal world, let's say we wait for another quarter. Okay, I hit my 100K. Okay, then abstract idea, nothing specific. What are the possibilities? I just want to
I'm talking
understand.
about the
I'm a
possibilities. Yeah,
impatient person. Like I need to
I get it.
see something. So then at least I know कि ठीक है अभी एक क्वार्टर चलना है अभी वहां पहुंचने के लिए.
I'll give you the
डेस्टिनेशन देखनी है मुझे.
possibilities. या डेस्टिनेशन देखोगी मैं वही कह रहा हूँ कि निकल के आएगी बिकॉज वो बिल्डिंग समथिंग जहाँ पे आई नो व्हाट आर पॉसिबिलिटीज बट व्हाट एग्जैक्टली विल टर्न आउट इनटू रियलिटी आई एम नॉट श्योर ऑफ दैट बट आई
Of course.
टेल यू. सी इन्फ्लुएंसर वर्ल्ड में पैसा कैसे बनता है. इन्फ्लुएंसर वर्ल्ड में सब चीजें दिखावे की दिखावा एज इन आप where do you show up, how do you show up, and everything those things, right? So let's say an influencer who might have a good audience, but there's another influencer who might not have crazy audience, but he's hanging out with the best of the best A-listers. This person would get 10x more money than someone who would have 10x more reach. That's one thing. That's the reality of this space. So first possibility I see. You remember, मेरे को ये सवाल भी पूछना था. डेविल वेयर्स प्राडा वो जो पूरा वो था मेरे को कहीं इंस्टाग्राम आपने कहीं भी कुछ कंटेंट डाला नहीं है क्या अभी तक उसका.
बहुत क्रैपी इवेंट था वो.
Okay, fuck it. But you could
घटिया
have
था इतना. नहीं 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 नहीं. It was beneath me. I was like, what is this? Like it looked like a birthday party. It was very bad.
fuck it. The idea is that I want you to get invited to parties, to events. I want people to when they're throwing those things, you show up.
I live in Singapore.
It's fucking fine, Sakshi. It's just what a
There, I know, but I know, but okay, I tell you straight, okay? Would I love to be invited to a party somewhere here, there, and go? I would love to. I have two small kids. I live in Singapore. That's my reality. Okay?
Sakshi.
It is
What's the
not
round?
it is not so feasible right now. It is not impossible. But am I gonna be taking flights to go to parties? That is not my life.
Okay, bro. Okay, let's. What's the round trip cost? from Singapore to India?
I mean, depends from 30K to a lakh, depending on whatever.
80K is the round trip. Let's fixate on that, right? Now let's say I'm talking about that there's a A-listers party or curated 100 folks, the best of the best folks. I would I would expect you to invest that money, show up, click those photos and whatnot, so that when all these brand representatives look at you, they see that you are an A-lister. Like I see the possibility of becoming an A-lister. Second, I see the possibility wherein people are paying you the money to travel. And I'm not sure if you've had those things. I personally, who have not even created content for 3 years, people have called me right, left, and center. I've literally traveled to 6 different cities in the country, wherein people have booked flights for me, people have booked everything for me, and they want me to come down.
Booking, ठीक है, मैं investment कर लूँ, ठीक है. Being away from my kids is tough for me. My husband travels a lot.
24
It is just
hours.
my life. It is. I'm just telling you that it is. That cannot be. That cannot be the way. Like it can be
हाँ हाँ हाँ.
like a ठीक है कभी कभी अगर करना पड़े तो I'm that's a work trip. Okay.
That's it.
Yeah,
So
that is
so so
different.
possibility create कर रहे हैं अभी. Possibility में सबसे पहला piece ये है that we're amongst the A-listers because that gets us more cash flow and that opens up more stores. Second, I don't want like one of the proposals when you were building for your brand with my partners and everything was कि यार हमारी community में बहुत सारे लोग हैं and one of the goals is to become celebrities. Sakshi seems like she can help people become celebrities. That like celebrity word should be associated with Sakshi. That's what she would get into. But the idea was I told them कि यार 5-10 हज़ार रुपए की कॉल मैं नहीं चाहता साक्षी बेचे. I'm not sure if she would be in for it or not because she might be doing this for 10 years ago. तो शायद उसको लगेगा यार मैं 5-10 रुपए की टिकट तो 10 साल पहले बेची थी, अभी भी मैं इस पे क्यों सेल कर रहा हूँ. बट आज हमसे 50,000 रुपए का स्टाइलिंग टिप कोई नहीं लेगा. So the idea is to get in that circle who can pay that kind of a money. Or global travelers, who are global Indian citizens, A-listers, whatnot, they start becoming your audience. You become a part of that league. मतलब सिंपल पॉसिबिलिटी है कि वो लीग जो है ना, मेरे
और
को
उनको
वो
क्या
क्रिएट
बेचो,
करना है.
वो कुछ नहीं खरीदते.
अरे वो नहीं खरीदते, बट
सेलेब.
आसपास उस फ्रेम में वो जो 1,000 लोग और होते हैं वो तो स्पेंड करते हैं.
I mean, yeah, maybe not, depending on what it is. See, the thing with styling is, and selling to Indians in India, they don't see it as a value add, and everyone thinks कि मैं बहुत stylish हूँ. ठीक है? This is the truth. Everyone thinks they're really
Just to give you
stylish.
context, we have three more stylists in the community, and they're selling like anything in the market in India because India one market have evolved massively. They're spending money right, left, and center on the right kind of stylist to get shit done.
Okay, what?
Uh,
Like what? Are they doing everyday styling? Are they doing wedding styling? What are they doing?
so let's say someone like this Sneham, she's doing plus size styling. Kavita is doing men power dressing, and she's doing it for people who are very big businessmen who are traveling across the world, across the countries and whatnot. Purvi, she's tapping into a network. The idea is through a content, we build a personal brand, and her network itself is very insane. So all the women out there who wants to look more chic, more stylish, more expensive and whatnot, she fits into that category. Whose Nisha is catering to women who are moms who've lost that touch of styling, and she's helping them. Wedding styling is too crowded, and hence we're not there. Everyone has a different space altogether. Now, the next category for you, let's say, is all these. Let's say you spoke of this A-list, this founder who's let's say race series A or tech entrepreneur, and they want to build a brand out of them because they also want to build celebrity. They want to work on those stages, so they want to ensure that they have a unique style to themselves. Let's say one of the names that popped up while we were figuring out everything for you is there's this YouTuber named Prakhar, right? Now this guy have got this friend of his who designs everything for him. So everything that he wears is has this Indian touch, very unique personality, and everywhere he goes, he carries that. And again, it's a very small cohort of people, and it's going to be very difficult to just hyper target them today. But I see them coming to you telling them that, hey, I don't mind spending a couple of lakhs, 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, whatever, but I want you to just redesign the wardrobe so that it has a unique brand language to me. Uh, those are the possibilities.
So is it only styling? Okay, now let's say styling is, so now styling is again an operational heavy job. I've done it before. Okay.
Hmm.
It is a lot of on the ground, right? Now for 5-10 lakhs, I'll do it. Okay. Usme koi problem nahi hai. Because then you're not doing that many people. It's not a volume business, right? So yeah, and I can do it. Like I don't hate it. I don't love it. The operational bit, right? So I like that idea because I think it's low volume, high impact, right? But I don't want to style someone for pennies because at the end of the day, like I even in my breakdown, I told you, even if I do style people, it'll be just to kind of create content and to get testimonials. To
Right.
be like before and after डालने के लिए किसी को तो
Right.
स्टाइल करना पड़ेगा ना फिर नहीं तो क्या दिखाऊंगी कि proof of concept मेरा क्या है. I used to be a celebrity stylist once upon a time. That's not enough, right? So, um, I kind of see Shivansh. What my goal is, I want to be in the service business. I don't want to be operating. I have done it. I've done like the running around, going for fittings, getting things tailored and all. It's not something that I'm wanting to do in my 40s, you know. And secondly, brand भी चला के देख लिया है, you know. शायद वो I'm not going to totally write it off. शायद अगर मैं उसको I can find a good product that fits into my. That's why I'm keeping Nava on ice. Project Bandito has an identity that you cannot change that. Nava is so new that eventually, like I can easily change it and people will not even know because it's so new, right? So maybe like if I ever want to do some product thing, which like I said, until I have clarity, I don't want to do it, right? That's always there on ice. But I want to kind of be able to have clarity on a vision, which, by the way, we don't have to start working on it today, right? But clarity on a vision that, like, let's say 6 months down the line, this is our goal. Okay. And the goal, styling these people, this small slice of people, it can be one little aspect of it. Fine. But
Right.
what's the, like, my fear is that, you know, uh, being a thought leader or having a point of view, how do you monetize that? Like, are you able to monetize that? Like, right now, I'm creating content specifically in that lane. So I don't want to like be in a box and be like, मैं इसके प्रोफाइल में आती हूँ सिर्फ फ्री का ज्ञान सुनने के लिए.
Sakshi, two things. Number one, whenever it will be the right time, I'll be the first one. I'm someone who manifests things for people. I'm someone who rushes behind them to get it monetized. So आपको जब लगेगा भी ना, मतलब you look at the community, you'll find more than half of the people wherein मतलब कोई भी मोनेटाइज अगर कर रहा है तो मैं ही उनके पीछे पड़ा था यार, आज इसका पैसा ले लो, ये देने के लिए अब यहाँ पे मिल जाएगा. So even with, let's say, I was talking to Shishti yesterday and I was like, dude, you need to start charging money to people to recommend them watches. Because people are confused and when someone tells you, I want to buy 8 lakh rupee watch, what should I buy? You gotta fucking charge money, right? So I'm gonna be there with you in that. What that picture would look like, I don't know that. What I know, I'll tell you. When I was building this keyword map and everything with for you, a statement that I was able to understand, I build you a celebrity wardrobe to get the attention you deserve. This was something that I was to fixate at the moment कि अभी साक्षी की आइडेंटिटी मेरे को कैसी बनती हुई दिखती है. अब ये इसका लेवल बहुत ऊपर बहुत नीचे बहुत सारे स्पेक्ट्रम्स पे हो सकता है. इसमें प्रोडक्ट हो सकता है, सर्विस हो सकता है, ऑप से भी काम हो सकता है, क्रिएटिविटी हो सकता है, एनीथिंग. But the celebrity keyword, I felt that has to be something that is there so that we command the right amount of bucks. I don't want you to be styling every Tom, Dick and Harry for that matter. Okay. Now, the two options came in immediate cash flow. I can help you sell to my community at the moment, 5,000 rupees की calls. We can simply place that idea. I, any which ways, now want all the people in the community to become celebrities. And there are different things that I'll have to convince them to do here and there and whatnot. And I'm trying to ensure that if people in the community can play with each other, nothing better than that. Right? So I can start opening that doors. ये क्यों आया था निकल के? क्योंकि सबसे पहली चीज ये थी कि यार, if you know Sonakshi Sinha and whatnot, and some more people like this, tap into the network और वहीं से पैसा उठाना सबसे easy चीज है. Like building a new thing, creating that, selling it, it requires so much effort. And if you want quick bucks, the easiest idea is to leverage your network. And trust me, that sounds difficult, that sounds crazy, but for a personality like you, you're a natural salesman. You can sell it हंसते खेलते product
I'm
बिक
the
जाएगा पता भी नहीं
worst
चलेगा.
salesperson in the world.
That's the most stupidest thought that I've heard on this call till now. Um, so again, you the salesman. It's not about selling. Salesman is about it's about communicating your energy, your vibe. You mentioned that the word infectious energy for me. Your energy is more infectious than me. Trust me, and that's what is needed in sales. Like right now, just you told me ki Ridhima felt trusting. You didn't even hear what she was saying. Even with me, you felt the infectious energy. Everything else didn't matter, and the timing was right. You're that person. So the other option is we play big game and we set the price that justifies the brand. I don't think this justifies the brand. What does, where it will head, I'm not too sure because I'm not the fashion. You asked me the other day, do I understand this category? Have I built products in this category? And I told you I understand business. And my business learning says I don't know where this brand would go, but I see some bits and pieces vision of what this could be. What is needed to be built is a destination, a vehicle, and an audience. We don't have a clarity on either of them today. Vehicle is basically what you spoke of कि मेरे को styling से ज़्यादा क्या.
Okay, 1 second. Styling मुझे नहीं करना है.
Right. तो vehicle क्या है और.
मैं बताती हूँ. स्टाइलिंग जैसे वो टॉप 1% का अलग है, वो उनको छोड़ो. उनके लिए तो वो बोलेंगे उल्टा खड़े हो जाओ, मैं खड़ी हो जाऊंगी, नो प्रॉब्लम. ठीक है. बिकॉज वन इज आई एम बिल्डिंग अ नेटवर्क. नो. या. Of course. If I'm getting, firstly, for me, it's not just about that 5 lakhs. I'm connecting with you. And that's what's important. And now you and I have an open line of communication. To me, that can turn into God knows what tomorrow. So if I'm styling, and that's what I even told my friend here who wanted me to style like Google employees. I was like, if you've got someone high up executive level, I'll do it. Now, if some junior people and all, please, I don't want to do it. Okay, I'm good. So that I'm okay. So that let's just not talk about that because that's a very like specific
हटाओ.
thing, right? वो जब भी
What's the
आएगा,
other thing?
वो आएगा तो आएगा. Now there are two things. Okay, what am I enjoying? I'm enjoying doing buck buck. Okay, giving gyan, loving it. It's awesome, right? So Masu Meenawala has a podcast. She talks to people. She does a very average job. Okay. There's another girl who I think is better than her. Okay. She is Sachi Lobby Report. Sachi something something. She's also, by the way, doing what I'm doing, but better. And actually, because she's doing like, clearly she's got like a videographer and whatever. So she's doing it better because of that. Sachi Biani. Okay. And she's got 72K followers, 67 posts. She's also doing lifestyle content. She recently started a podcast and she spoke with the editor of Vogue India, Rochelle Pinto. I actually don't love Masoom's conversations. She's more mainstream. She's massy. I actually think that that culture, that fashion, slice that niche, I am enjoying that. Maybe we work on getting bigger and then finally being able to do something like that. Now, for that, if I have to fly to India, not for a party, you know, and sit down in a studio and film, I'm happy to do that.
How do you make money
Okay,
off the podcast?
that you have to tell me. I don't know if podcasts make money.
Yeah,
Isn't
point people
YouTube
say
playing? Isn't YouTube paying creators? Don't they? I
it's
don't
not
know.
a lot. Matlab,
I don't know.
it depends upon the quality of audience, it depends upon the quantity of the audience. You cannot just feel, you cannot just think YouTube can feed you in that sense, especially today or tomorrow.
Sure. Not. Yeah. Sure. Okay. So that's one thing that I think is could be cool. Another thing is to just do speaking engagements. You know, about
Mm-hmm.
this slice, fashion, culture, as an like I come from a very the good thing about I think the differentiator about me is I'm not just sitting and talking. I've actually been there, done that. I've operated. So for me, like speaking engagements with universities, Fad, Fad University, Fad Fashion Institute, they already got in touch with me and they're in conversation with me, but they want me to do some free shit, which I'm just like, nah, I'm not interested in doing any free shit. And I told her very upfront, looks like you are insinuating that I should do something for mutual benefit, which is free, and I don't have the time to do that. So I've given my price and they've kind of said, oh, we'll get back to you. And another thing is brand partnerships. But again, like for instance, a couple of brands have contacted me, like um, one brand rooted in craft, like chicken curry and this and that, which is very much aligned with my narrative. Like for instance, if I was doing this streetwear piece that I'm doing today, but let's say a brand had paid me for it,
Right.
that's a great alignment of my content naturally and a brand partnership.
Perfect. So Sakshi,
बक
what
बक
if
करना
you
अच्छा लगता है मुझे.
यार
कुछ
अगर
काम
आप ये
नहीं करना
देखोगे
मैंने
ना, जो यहाँ
जाके
पे
वो. हम्म.
ये जो लिखा है कि
हम्म.
भाई बहुत सिंपल है, आपको सिर्फ यू यू आर अ नेचुरल सेल्समैन, यू हैव दैट स्किल सेट, उसको निकलने दो. सही ऑडियंस, ये पॉडकास्ट, स्पीकिंग एंगेजमेंट, ब्रांड पार्टनरशिप्स. यू आर आस्किंग मी फॉर अ प्लान की एग्जैक्टली वेयर वुड बी 6 months डाउन द लाइन, व्हाट विल डू. आई एम सेइंग द ब्रांड दैट विद क्राफ्टिंग इट विल ओपन सो मेनी डोर्स एंड थिंग्स विल स्टार्ट coming in. The speaking
Got it.
engagements, the podcast, the brand partnerships, you cannot plan them. What you can only plan is being in the present and creating content and keep creating it. You don't have answers to these questions to build what we want. When you said that, okay, I want to build a community wherein I can do DIY, a kind of audience will be there. पहली बात, कौन आके सीखना चाहता है? क्या वो ऑडियंस आज मुझे देखती है? क्या उसके लिए मैं जो कंटेंट बनाऊंगा वो, जो मैं जिस लीग में घुस सकता हूँ उससे दूर? क्योंकि वो अगर मैं बनाऊंगा तो फिर मैं ये सब चीजें एक्सपेक्ट नहीं कर सकता हूँ. आई कांट एक्सपेक्ट द एडिटर ऑफ वोग इंडिया टू सिट विद मी टू डू अ पॉडकास्ट. I can expect that today if I do this for next 3 to 6 months. Now, how would that make money? You tell me that. मैंने ये सवाल इसलिए पूछा इसके लिए ताकि आपको समझ में आ सके कि यार पैसा लॉन्ग गेम में बनाने के अगर हम सोच रहे हैं तो वो तो बनेगा और बहुत अलग अलग तरीकों से बनेगा. Brands would want to place themselves right, left, and center with you. But we need
And
that
and
portfolio.
Shivansh, I want to go to Cannes Lions next year.
Our portion, let's fucking go.
I want to do it. Like I feel like I can do it. Like it's achievable. It's full of creators.
Okay. That
Like I want
is
to go be in those rooms. I want to talk to those people. I want to feel inspired. I want doors to open for me. And I'm sitting on my dining table in Singapore all day long.
Sakshi. Tell me this question. Tell me answer this question. बाइनरी क्वेश्चन है, इफ एंड बट और नुआंस मत डालना.
Hmm.
एक ऑप्शन है, हम अगले साल कैंस आ सकते हैं,
Hmm.
बट हम उसके बीच में कुछ भी पैसा नहीं बनाएंगे, नहीं बना पाएंगे.
पैसा तो बनाना है ब्रांड पार्टनरशिप से. वो तो बनाना ही है.
और
देखो मैं
रुक
इतना
रुक रुक
काम
रुक
कर
रुको
रही हूँ ना,
रुको रुको
वो
रुको
तो
रुको
बनाना
रुको
ही है.
रुको 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 रुको. नहीं नहीं नहीं, मैंने सवाल की स्टार्टिंग बोला, मैं एक बाइनरी सवाल पूछ रहा हूँ. या तो पैसा बनाना है या कैंस जाना है. मैं ये नहीं कह रहा ये ऐसा ही होगा कि नहीं होगा साथ में, बट मैं कह रहा हूँ अगर आपके आगे ऑप्शन है, नॉर्थ स्टार क्या है हमारा, मैं वो जानना चाह रहा हूँ.
पैसा बनाना है मुझे.
पैसा बनाना है, कैंस होता नहीं होता फर्क नहीं पड़ता.
कैन चेरी ऑन टॉप ऑफ द केक है, लेकिन केक तो
परफेक्ट.
पैसा है. हाँ.
एक तो पैसा है.
हाँ.
और पैसा हमें कि यार शिवांश इस डेट से पैसा, मतलब उसके बाद क्या है क्या नहीं है, हम पैसा बना रहे हैं, फर्क नहीं पड़ता वो क्या डेट है.
मतलब नो नो योर
बेसिक.
क्वेश्चन.
ओके. सो आई एम बेसिकली सेइंग राइट नाउ व्हाट आई वांट यू टू डू. अच्छा रुको, दूसरा सवाल पहले मेरे को ये बताओ, क्या सिंगापुर में किसी भी तरीके के इवेंट्स है जिसका आप हिस्सा बन सकते हो?
हाँ, Vogue, and I have a good contact at Vogue. I know the publisher at large, so sure, I can get into Vogue events. Singapore's not a very fashion type of place.
I don't care. I want you to be in events as much as possible. I want you to be seen speaking to public. I want that infectious energy on the table. I want people to see that when they call you, wherever, they it's worth the money. So even with the speaking engagement you're talking about, ये जो school, college, जो
There
भी
are
है,
fashion
what
schools. There are fashion schools here, Raffles and all. Yeah, there are schools.
I don't mind go and do a couple of engagements for free. At least build a portfolio. This fad that you mentioned कि अरे मैंने price quote कर दिया. It's good to have a worth of yourself. But they don't know you, right? We need to build a portfolio.
अरे बॉस, तुम्हारी टीम ने बोला कि उनको इग्नोर करो, उनको बोलो जाए.
अरे
मैंने
वो
पूछा
ठीक
था
है
उनको.
मेरी टीम. अच्छी बात है उन्होंने जो भी बोला मेरी टीम को, क्योंकि ये सेट है कि यार इंसान को अपनी वर्थ से कम नहीं सेल करने देना है, बट द काइंड ऑफ इंटेंशन वी सेटिंग राइट नाउ, what I'm saying is if that helps us to build a portfolio, if speaking engagement intrigues us,
या इट डज.
तो कर लेते हैं ना 2-3 फ्री में.
हाँ कर लेते हैं, उसमें क्या है.
यहाँ से गेम बहुत सिंपल है साक्षी. फिर अभी हम पैसे के बारे में सोचने के बजाय we're enjoying what we do. Fashion journalism is essentially what we're doing. इसको हम कंटिन्यू कर रहे हैं विद कंटिन्यूसली बिल्डिंग द ब्रांड, द काइंड ऑफ ऑडियंस दैट्स लुकिंग अस. उसके साथ में हम इवेंट्स और डाल रहे हैं, और हम एक सीरीज और ऐड कर सकते हैं, सेलिब्रिटी सीरीज. इसमें थोड़ा सा बिफोर आफ्टर सेलिब्रिटीज के बारे में दिखा सकते हैं. बेसिकली आई वांट पीपल टू कंटिन्यूसली सी दीज ए लिस्टर्स दैट ओके, इफ साक्षी पोटेंशियली वर्क्स विद मी, तो हम यहाँ से ये दिख सकते हैं. आई वांट
मतलब
यू टू
कैसे?
थिंक
Show me
अबाउट इट.
how. Like I don't know. Like an AI. Like what? Like I would put this on this person. Like what?
Now there are 2-3 things here. One is, as you said, that I would put this on this person कि ये खराब पहना या अच्छा पहना, I really like this, I didn't like this. So those breakdowns, that's one. अब उसमें ना तारीफ हर कोई कर देता है, बट एक्चुअली में वो लेना कि यार इसको मैं ऐसे पहनता या इसको मैं ऐसे बदलता, दैट चेंजेस थिंग्स. दैट गिव्स यू दैट अथॉरिटी कि आप किसी और पे ये कमेंट्री कर सकते हो. दैट्स वन.
जो भी मेरा नेटवर्क है वो सारा मुझे एफयू करेगा फिर. वहां
क्यों?
सारे स्टाइलिस्ट को जानती हूँ मैं. सारे मेरे दोस्त हैं. ठीक है.
अरे
समथिंग टू
थोड़ा सा
थिंक
ऐसे
अबाउट.
बना देते हैं ना,
समथिंग टू थिंक
ताकि
अबाउट. ओके.
थोड़ा ग्रे में खेल लेते हैं कि यार आई
हम्म.
नो, मतलब शी इज अ वेरी गुड फ्रेंड. यार आई थिंक उसको अगर वो ऐसा करता है ना, शायद ये भी, मतलब आई डोंट नो हाउ डू यू पुट इट,
Yeah, we
बट
have to.
समहाउ
It can be a good something to think about. Something to flesh
समथिंग
out.
थिंक अबाउट. ठीक है, सो आई वांट समथिंग. तो दो चीजें लिखी यहाँ पे, सेलिब्रिटी एंड बिफोर आफ्टर. एंड आई ब्रॉट यू सम पीस ऑफ वेगनेस बिकॉज आई नो फॉर अ फैक्ट दैट यू आर दैट क्रिएटिव पर्सन, यू कैन फिगर इट आउट. मुझे एक तरफ देखना है बिफोर आफ्टर, थोड़ा सा कुछ मैं क्या करता या फिर मैंने क्या
Ranveer
किया.
Singh style evolution types. Virat
दैट्स
Kohli style
इंटरेस्टिंग.
evolution.
यस यस यस.
क्या था वो चोमू पहले, अभी क्या बन गया है उसको देखो.
ऐसे ही इसी इसी भाषा में बोल देना, क्या था वो चुनू
नहीं,
क्या.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल नहीं बोलूंगा.
And then Virat Kohli texting you that, bro, I want to get your services. Help me now.
No, he will not text me. He'll say she's a fucking bitch. I'm gonna block that bitch.
I just met his one of the co-founders in random. I was randomly sitting in a sauna in my gym, and this guy comes in. हम बात कर रहे हैं. He's like, I'm restaurant. मैंने कहा कौन? So he spoke about 1-8. The world is so small.
Dude, I've met Virat few times. He is a friend. My friend was his manager, Bunty Sajde. I'm
Hmm.
not in touch super, like I was very close to him at one time, but he was dating a friend of mine, a Bunty, and Virat was his golden goose because
Yeah.
he was his sports manager, whatever. He was his manager for like campaigns and all that. And I remember like he used to really be like a typical like Delhi boy. Like he was nothing special, you know. And look at him now, like he's like everyone on the cricket team looks like him. You know, they're all copies of Virat. Oh, by the way, Shivansh, one of my friends messaged me um, today, this morning, that I have to do a piece on World Cup fashion.
Let's go.
Should I?
Why not?
I don't know anything about these guys. I just know Messi, Ronaldo. I just know their names. उतना बस है क्या?
अरे काफी है यार, इतना सोचना तो है. See, this
हाँ
is
ठीक
what I'm
है.
talking about. The universe is bringing you opportunity. Let's fucking go. All we say is for the next
Hmm.
1 or 2 quarters, like for the next 6 months, let's say, we are saying let's fucking go to anything that comes across.
Hmm.
Anything that you
पॉडकास्ट
feel.
पॉडकास्ट चालू. पॉडकास्ट से लोग पैसे कैसे बनाते हैं?
यार
इतने
पॉडकास्ट से लोग
सारे
कैसे बनाते हैं?
पॉडकास्ट हैं.
ब्रांड प्लेसमेंट से और गेस्ट से पैसा लेते हो. तो आप जिस कैटेगरी में हो, आप पहले दिन तो गेस्ट से पैसा ले नहीं पाओगे. रणवीर अलाहाबादिया जैसे लोग 40-40 लाख रुपए एक गेस्ट से लेते हैं सिर्फ पॉडकास्ट पे आने का. यस. इट्स अ टिपिकल पीआर. जैसे आपको टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया में एड छपवाना है, न्यूज में आना है, वैसे एड छपवाना है, वैसे ही पॉडकास्ट में आना है, पैसे दो. सिंपल.
Oh,
दूसरा होता है ब्रांड प्लेसमेंट. सिंपल. तो इट्स लॉन्ग गेम, इट टेक्स टाइम.
yes.
देयर आर सो मेनी पॉडकास्ट एंड हेंस आई वांट
But
योर
there's a
ब्रांड टू.
reason there are so many podcasts because people are listening,
नहीं नहीं नहीं, देयर सो मेनी पॉडकास्ट बिकॉज़ पीपल लाइक टॉक.
like
लोग
me.
बहुत कम सुन रहे हैं. बहुत ही कम लोग कुछ कुछ सुन रहे हैं.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You think so?
I know so.
Interesting. Okay.
तो पॉडकास्ट खासकर वो लोग सुन रहे हैं जो मतलब इंडिया में ना, इंडिया 3 जो है वो
What's India 3?
well, India is categorized into India 1, India 2, India 3. Basically, a couple of years ago, this Bloom published this report that India 1 is someone who's makes couple of lakhs a month, more than that, and basically have changed the way they live and everything. Then this India 2, the middle class, let's say, and India 3 is the mass India, the 80% of the country. तो बेसिकली वो लोग ना पूरे दिन बैठ के कंटेंट कंज्यूम कर रहे हैं, वहीं से सबसे ज्यादा कंटेंट क्रिएटर्स भी है, वहीं से सबसे ज्यादा कंजम्पशन भी है. सो दैट इज वाई आई डोंट वांट यू टू मूव टुवर्ड्स दैट स्पेक्ट्रम, क्योंकि वहां से क्या है, आपके पास ना भर के ऑडियंस आ जाएगी, बट दैट ऑडियंस वुड बी वर्थ अ टाइम. सो
Yeah,
आई
but
डोंट
if
वांट
I'm
अस टू स्लिप
talking
देयर.
only about this exact what I'm talking about now, like very niche subjects, is it still going to be like that?
नहीं, इट्स नॉट गोना बी लाइक दैट, बट उसके लिए हमें थोड़ा सा क्रेडिबिलिटी गेन करना है कि वो India 1
Like, by
ऑडियंस के
the
बीच
way,
में बच सके.
Shivansh, like, for instance,
Okay, which stock is it? My Wi-Fi.